countries. Today we go to Kenya, and online with me I have Paswel Marenya. Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa. Can you hear me?
I am hearing you loud and clear. I want to see
Wonderful.
you though. How are you doing?
Sorry.
There you are. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well. It's about 1 p.m. right here.
It's one o'clock in the afternoon. So then you are about 7 hours ahead of Trinidad and Tobago, because it's 6:15, about just after 6:15 here in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean.
Wow. So this is an early morning show, right?
It's bright and early, yes. I have to leave home at 3. I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning every morning. So for those of us here in Trinidad and Tobago who may not be familiar with Kenya, give us an idea exactly where on the continent, the countries that are bordering Kenya.
So if you look at the map of Africa, go right in the center, move east, it's on the eastern seaboard of Africa. To the north is Ethiopia, to the south is Tanzania, to the west is Uganda, Rwanda. So there you have Kenya.
So you are actually, so you are not landlocked. You actually have you have the coast. You have a coastal on the east side.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a long coastline on the Indian Ocean. So from there, you can sail to India. And actually, they did that for many, many years, for hundreds of years, maybe as early as 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
Indians and Persians and even Chinese actually sailed into Kenya, into Mombasa. There's a small, if I'm not getting off track here, there's a small community on the northern coast of Kenya in an area called Lamu. I forget their name, but they are of Chinese descent. Because it is said that there were these Chinese sailors who showed up there about 600-700 years ago, and they became shipwrecked. They couldn't go back home, and they simply settled in there. And the modern Chinese government actually have taken an interest in these people. So a long history that the Kenyan coast has had with the outside world, Persia, India. And as you can see, even as far as China.
So your population, you have a mixture of people just like Trinidad and Tobago, because we have persons of African descent, of Indian, Chinese, Syrian descent here in Trinidad and Tobago. So it sounds fairly similar. What your population size? What's the population size? What's the size of your population?
So Kenya is about 47 million now. I think we haven't done an official census of late, but it hovers around 43 to 47.
Yes.
We're going 50 now, 50 million on about 580,000 square kilometers. Most of it is not inhabited in the north. Is sparsely inhabited. A lot of the population is centered around the equator, around the middle of the country.
So, I always marvel when I hear these figures, 45 million, 50 million, because our population is 1.3 million people.
Right.
And you guys always crack up when I say that. Yeah, we're 1.3 million people here in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah.
So about 30 times more.
Yeah. So tell us about the types of foods. What sort of food what's your staple food diet in Kenya?
Okay, what we like to eat? Yeah. I mean,
the traditional food.
We like to eat everything that's edible. But the main national, as we speak, the main national sort of, you can say, staple goes something like this. So you would have cornmeal, and you would cook it, corn flour, and cook that into a stiff paste, and then you would serve it with a variety of things: vegetables, stews, meats, poultry, chicken, whatever it is. Yeah, so that is the main thing.
So you have cornmeal that you cook into like a paste, right? You said. And we have something similar, and we call that kuku. Yeah.
So we call it ugali down here.
What do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
But
probably
it wasn't
similar.
always like, I mean, it wasn't always corn until about 500 years ago when the Portuguese
Yeah.
came. And I didn't mention the Portuguese as some of the people who had interacted with Kenya for many years. So 500 years ago, about 15 something, the Portuguese showed up in East Africa and they brought along corn, maize. And it proved to be successful, and therefore it replaced traditional African grains such as sorghum and millet. So those were more of the traditional ones, and they are not widely cultivated anymore because of maize took over, if you like.
Yeah.
But I hear now all over the world there's growing interest into these so-called ancient grains, and I think who knows, there's probably a niche market for some of these. Yeah.
That I'm seeing something called Sukuma wiki.
Ah, there you go.
And gueno. Gueno. What is gueno?
Gueno?
Yes.
Well, so that's chicken in one of the languages here.
Ah, okay.
So that's chicken. Sukuma is kale, basically.
Sukuma is kale. So what's the main language in Kenya?
So the main language that everybody speaks is Swahili. So we call that national language. So now you and I now are speaking in English.
Yes.
And English is, should we say, the language of business and government. So, but Swahili is sort of the national language. It's what you speak ordinarily across the 42, some say up to 50 tribes.
Yeah.
That we have in this country. So we have, more than 40 different languages, and it so happens that Swahili spread and became sort of a unifying, if you like, lingua franca.
So you know what? We're running out of time, Paswel, but this was so interesting learning about Kenya. Before you go, I just want you to say, have a great day, Trinidad and Tobago, in Swahili.
Uwe na siku njema, dada Lisa, meaning have a great day, my sister Lisa. Uwe na siku njema, dada Lisa.
Uwe kuku njema.
Uwe na siku njema, dada Lisa.
Uwe na siku njema.
Ndio njema.
Ndio njema.
Yeah.
I'll get it eventually. Thank you so much, Paswel, for chatting with us there, all the way from Kenya. It's after 1 o'clock in the afternoon there. We really appreciate you taking the time to share a bit about Kenya with us here as we commemorate African History Month. We visit a different country in Africa every day until the end of the month. And who knows, sometimes we may have more than one. We may have 2 interviews lined up for you with some of the younger ones. We get some millennials in there. But